Starting the podcast, everything has to go. I was about to say an episode number, and I actually looked it up. We've recorded 36, but I think only 32 have come out.
Woo!
So something like that.
Woo!
Bennett, White Oak, Burgundy Stallion, Strawberry McThickums. We're going around. Who's here?
Carson, Carcinogen, please don't hurt my feelings.
Charlie, Weeping Willow, Roast Beef, Jazzy P.
Ooh. No invertebrate this time around.
Oh yeah, the invertebrate.
Yeah, you gotta keep that one going.
Marco, Looney Sanders, the Sausage Slayer, the Bionicle Butcher, and sometimes known as the Slithering Cyclist.
Ooh, I like that last one. Alright. We got Slick Nick, Eastern Red Cedar, Canadian Carnage, Beast from the East.
Yeah, Kyle, Drywall Assassin, Heavy Fragile, 1/3 of Team Big Hook.
Team Big Hook!
We'll follow up on that.
Yes, we sure will.
That was a big hook.
You got me, Lofi.
Lofi.
Salofi and Jug.
You gotta come up
Salofi
with
Jug.
something. Yeah.
I
that's the best
all the
one.
nicknames for a second. I was blanking so hard.
We
Yeah,
were just
Slow.
talking about it.
We were, yeah. That's how bad it was. Or not how bad it was today, but yeah, Sloaf Dog, OG Loaf Custer.
Live, laugh,
Yada,
loaf.
yada.
Live,
Laugh,
laugh,
loaf.
loaf.
So on and so forth. Russell Wilson, yeah.
Boot, River, Birch, Angry, and/or Grouchy, Hippie.
All right. And/or. Didn't have any plans for this episode, so we're just going to jump right into it. What did you say? Team Big Hook? Was that
Team
it?
Big Hook.
Team Big Hook. I assume it has to do with hooking something around
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
The origin story is quite miraculous. So these people had a full-size hammock in the living room at the load up, and they were like, "Do we need to take this apart?" And we were like, "No, not yet, you don't." And
Not
so
necessary.
we ended up hooking it out of the load up house, and then we got to the other one, and they were like, "Yeah, it's going in this living room," which was basically right inside the front door, around a little closet, and me and Nick were just looking at each other like, "Oh, we got this."
Yeah.
So yeah, we moved the full-size hammock inside and out of two houses without taking it apart.
Sweet.
Was the tail of Big Hook.
Yeah.
That was the biggest hook.
Who's
That
got
was
a
a
hammock
hammock in there.
I don't know. But,
That's
yeah,
That's the
insane.
real-
That's
it was pretty
insane.
dumb.
So I think you, Nick, and Salofi were there when we had to do that big-ass desk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which also was a big hook because it was an L-shaped
Pretty
desk
much,
that's probably
yeah.
like almost as big as these two couches.
That
That was
was-
all just one piece,
Solid wood.
just completely solid, and it was too high to stand on one end to fit through the door, so you had to do a little kind of angle and get it through. and
Yeah, it
slide
wasn't
it
like a
out.
traditional hook. It was
No.
more of like stand it on the corner
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It'd
just
be like
kind
a
of keep an
perfect
awkward
V, yeah.
angle. Yeah, it was a V that you kind of
Yeah.
Had a
Or an
sled.
Orthodox hook.
it was unorthodox.
Yeah, an orthodox hook.
The bottom, though, of it was also one piece, and we had to hook those legs quite a bit, including one point where I was like, "Hey, Jake, can you move closer to me?" And then he moved the direction I wanted him to that wasn't closer to me, and he was like, "I do what you want."
It's on purpose, yeah.
I mean, me and Boot were team failed hook that one day with that.
Which
Trying to
time?
get that headboard. We got like wedged against the door and then had to take it back up.
Oh, yeah.
That
We're,
was pretty funny.
yeah. Yeah.
All true.
Mm-hmm.
There was one time with Brent. I don't know. Who knows Brent? You do. You might.
I don't think
I
so.
don't know. You worked here a long time ago. We had to get a headboard down from like an old townhouse, so that's all just fucking stupid. And they said they had to take the crown off of it first, the crown of the headboard. So I looked in the back, and they used to be square bolts, but they were just completely stripped to circles, so we couldn't take it off. So we had to flip it completely upside down and then hook the feet around the ceiling
Mhm.
to get it down the
That's
stairs.
the classic move, actually.
Yeah.
That's what we
Upside
thought
down
we were
headboard.
going to have to do, but then we realized the legs came off of
Yeah.
it, and we were like, well, I guess we
Well,
could have just done that in
work
the first place.
It was probably like 4 Allens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Sure
was. And, pretty good drywall assassination.
Lived
Saw
up
your
to the
target.
name on that one. Well, technically, I was against the door.
Yeah, it was me.
You got the draft.
I was.
but still.
Okay.
We both tried.
Yeah.
You need like a little business card or like something, so every time that happens, just slap it on there. You've
Mm.
been assassinated.
The drywall assassin with like a phone
Just
number.
in with like
God.
2 guns.
That was just extra frustrating too, because Tay was outside and he kept knocking on the door, and I was like, "Nope, nope, we're wedged against it. Don't try and open that."
Oh man, I'm gonna have to. I guess we could go to This Week in Moving. You guys just got back.
Yep.
Did you have to use all that ram board and shit to cover
Yeah.
up the floor?
Oh,
It's
they
pretty
were-
dumb.
Oh man.
Started
I mean,
slipping on it.
it makes me laugh every time people say that because it's like, we're gonna walk on this floor. Like,
Mhm.
That doesn't really fucking matter. Like,
It is the floor.
It's a floor. We're moving extremely heavy shit.
Well, the whole point was she was like, "Oh, we just got the cleaners and they just cleaned everything up." And I was thinking there, I was like, "Why didn't
Why
you
would
wait
you
till
do
we
that?
like move
Yeah.
everything in and then have them come through
Yeah,
and clean
that's
everything
like-
up?" Like,
So many people do that, and it's just
Yeah.
like, why?
Because there's
think
going to be
who
stuff
does that?
everywhere after you
But
move in.
everyone.
You gotta
Or-
clean everything when there's nothing in there so you can
Of
get to
course,
every
yes.
place.
No, but then you tear open your boxes and get all the cardboard
Yeah,
shit
exactly.
everywhere. Like, you're just gonna make it
It's
immediately
just,
dirty.
it's just such a
yeah, hassle.
asinine.
But another one of my favorites, I think you might have been there, is when they start to clean their stoves or their ovens and they just leave it on while you're
yeah.
still in there moving.
Yeah.
So while you're breathing hard, you're just breathing in all those fumes. You're like, "Oh, this is amazing! I love this."
This is awesome.
I
Instead
think
of
we
fresh
brought
air.
that up.
Yeah, we did. I remember bringing it
It
up.
happens.
There may have been a rant about that last
California Simulator.
Yeah, it's the best. I love it.
Or, of course, the old classic, well, you guys should get the washer dryer last because I got to run that right now.
Oh yeah, the number of times you move a
Perfect.
dryer that's
Yeah.
full of fucking towels.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, like, come on, man.
Just filled with just like gross water, and you can smell it as soon as you start to shift it around, and then
Mhm.
it gets on
Water
you
sucks.
or just in the truck. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, nice.
So
Got
gross.
2 on me.
Basically.
Yeah, me and Marco had a bad time with a washer dryer recently.
Yeah, that was shit. It was like one of those double deckers where they have like a storage drawer for more shit at the bottom of it. So they stand about 5 feet high, each one. And it was funny trying to squeeze them in because then for a long time we're like, do we have to remove the door? And I'm like, no, we'll just shut the door. And then just boom, way more space. And I was like, oh, that was easy.
But I did have to take all of the hoses off of the back of the washer just to get it sideways in there so that we could get it, like, you had to go in with the front facing in the door and then pick it up and, like, rotate it completely vertical just to get them to fit in there. And there was a shelf that was too short, so we couldn't even push them back all the way. And she was like, I'll just knock that out later. It's fine.
That's
It's
always
like,
the best.
you can't even get in there.
I do construction. I'll just do some demo and I'll get in there and knock it down.
Oh man, the other funny thing from that too. So they had one of those like kind of older style things, right? When you come in the door, it's like the half wall, and then there's like the pole or whatever, you know. It's like a whole thing with like a little window down into the living room. And she was like, "Yeah, I could just plaster this all up, so it's just a wall." And it's like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just knock it out, and then you wouldn't have anything there? That makes way more sense.
wall.
Or just put up a curtain.
Or something. Or, yeah,
Hang some beads.
Yeah, it might be a little easier there. This wasn't this week, but it happened since we recorded last. How about that hot tub, Nick?
Oh, yeah, that was a time.
Yeah, as far as, I mean, it went as smooth as it could have gone.
Yeah, yeah.
but it was still
On
fun.
paper, there was a high chance for injury or some damage, of some sort,
Yeah.
something. And none of that happened, shockingly.
Well,
Had a little close call, in my opinion. I don't know. I didn't like the way that truck was moving.
I felt pretty confident. You guys were, while maybe it looked worse from the back, but I.
Me and Doug both took a deep breath in at one point when he was trying to get himself out of the rut with his front tires,
Oh, yeah.
and he just had to gas it and turn at the same time, and the whole box just with all the weight on one side. It was like a hot tub, like
So,
a dresser.
We'll go back to the beginning. We're
Oh,
up in the
yeah.
middle of the fucking mountains, middle of goddamn nowhere.
Yeah.
A bunch of switchbacks, all shitty. And we're just moving the big ass shit for this guy, including a hot tub and exercise equipment and all that bullshit. Log bed.
Yeah.
Fucking log beds. But we had to go around the back of his house to get to the hot tub. and like some of the shit in the basement. So it's like a real sketchy angle driving a big ass truck down just over grass,
Very
and shit
steep
in the
incline.
backyard, in the mountains. We eventually kind of got it backed up to, you know, a decent spot, as good as it was going to get. You know, the truck was probably still at a 30-degree angle straight down.
Yeah. That was also the tricky part, was that stupid angle of the truck. As soon as you get in, anything you put down just immediately wants to slide towards the attic of the truck.
Yeah.
And with a 500-pound hot tub, it's like, yeah, there's going to be some sliding, because, I mean, we had the lift gate, thankfully, so it was like, it wasn't like we had to go up, the ramp or anything, but still, you got it onto the truck, even when off the lift gate, you know, and me and Doug, Harrison kind of joined us, but he didn't really, like, end up doing very much. It was pretty much me and Doug behind the thing, like, you know, pushing uphill, essentially, trying to, like, slowly pull this thing down in without having it, like, slide all the way at us. And there's a point in time where, like, Bennett was pushing on the front of it, kind of like towards me and Doug, and we're just like holding the thing. My shoes just started slipping. And that's when I started yelling for Harrison. I was like, Harrison, get back here. Harrison, get back here. I was like, if this thing picks up any momentum, I'm going to have to just to the side. Just, it's gone. I'm out. I think you even said, Bennett, at one point, you know, there was one sketchy part where you're like, all right, if anything goes wrong, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, just go on and get fuck this hot tub.
Yeah.
I guess if you don't work for a movie company and you're listening to this, which happens, the way you move a hot tub,
It's on the side.
yeah, you have to flip it up onto its side and put some wheels under it or something, or you're fucked.
Yeah.
So we had to flip it up onto its side and only come down like a short step off the porch where it was, onto some plywood that we had laid out that led all the way to the lift gate. So we did that, and I definitely hit the top of the porch when I picked up the side to get the wheels under, because once you flip it on its side, it's like 9 feet tall or whatever. But we got it to the lift gate. We covered the lift gate in pads, got it off the wheels the same way we put it on, pushed it onto the ramp with the pads, pushed the lift gate up so it trapped the pads in so they stayed in place, and then slid it down like you were saying.
Yeah.
It worked really well.
Yeah.
That's science.
Yeah, sure.
That doesn't
used
sound
the
sketchy.
grand piano board to do it before.
Yeah, we brought a piano board just in
Yeah.
case, but
Because I like that because it spreads out the weight a little bit on the dolly,
a little bit.
but it also makes it tippy.
And it makes it just a couple inches taller,
Mhm.
which could be disastrous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it has been. So we had one we thought would get into the truck, gets up on the lift gate, and we're like, it's like a foot too tall.
Yeah.
And you're not just going to lean it because it would probably wedge
Why not?
itself in the truck and you'd never get it out.
It's part of the truck.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Yeah.
Immediately after that, though, or not immediately, but we got the rest of the shit on the truck. And this is where we're talking about how it gets real sketchy. So right in front of us is like a patch of sod or some shit that he didn't really want us driving over. And by the end of it, he was like, I don't live here anymore. Fuck that shit. Drive over it. So that helped out a lot. But we were at such an angle and the truck was so much heavier now, we couldn't back up. Harrison was just spinning the wheels.
Yeah, he's getting himself in a divot for
Yeah.
sure.
So I just go up, I'm like, all right, we're going straight now. And I like had to give him a little pep talk. I was like, all right, so you're going to have to keep going all the way down. And when you go all the way down, you're going to have to keep going because then you're going to need to go back up the other side. Do not slow down at all. You need to make this. So he starts going, and I guess, like I said, it looked worse from
the
behind.
top of the hill because you're watching the whole box swing.
Yeah, and it's just going over bumps.
And
in
you
the
know
yard
which
and
side
shit.
all the weight's on, and it's downhill. You know, and you're like, oh shit. Like, Harrison's going to tip.
But he did a good job. He made it. No problem.
Good
No
job,
problem.
alopecia.
Yeah, speaking of sketchy angles, too, I know we brought up other aspects of that, but the job that me and Brad and Sabina did, it was a piano shuffle where he got his hand all fucked up by the customers pushing the piano up.
Oh, yeah.
So the other side of that, we were at like a 30-degree angle with a way heavier piano, so I was literally like feet against the back wall below the attic. It's just pressed out so that Brad could try and strap it, because otherwise I would have been in the way. And that shit was real dumb. So me and Sabina were on the bottom, and we got onto the truck, and we're just like, nope, it's just going. Like, there's nothing we can do at this point.
Sometimes it just goes.
Just slow it down. Yeah. And that was all we could do.
There it goes.
Yeah, there it goes. Speaking of fun times, you like that old place home that were, they shut us down for at least 45 minutes, and then we had to take the stairs a few times there. Oh wait, that might have been Jake and Sam I was with. Never mind, nobody was here. So
We just took the stairs in an old folks home.
yeah,
Just,
so,
that was real easy.
but
Everyone's had that. But,
yeah, for this one, like we were using the elevator for a while, and it was going pretty smoothly. We'd go up there, third floor, grab stuff, take the elevator, go down. And so it got to a point where someone pulled an alarm went off in this place, and so we had to sit outside. They're like, yeah, we got to close all these doors. You have to stay here because elevators aren't gonna work. And it turned out like they had to pull one of their patients, like one of the people, out of the elevator into an ambulance, and then they took her away, and then the power was out in like half of the building. And so Jake was like, yeah, we'll just take the stairs. He was just ready to get this job done. I was like, all right, Jake, let's do this. And then Sam was there too, and I was like, Sam, we're doing this. Let's go, man. And then you know how Sam is. Yeah, Sam's like, all right, man, let's keep going. Let's keep going, man. Let's do this. And I was like, yeah, he was like, oh, I'm excited. He was like, should we go this way or should we go that way? I was like, dude, I got lost in this building like 2 times. I was like, Sam, like, I know it's dark. Like, I remember like we got up to the 3rd floor. We got up to the 3rd floor, and we were coming out with dollies, and I was right behind him. And, like, I was just following him. I wasn't even thinking. And he, like, takes us the wrong way. And it took me a minute to realize. I was looking around. I was like, this doesn't look familiar at all. I was like, Sam, where are you going? He's like, oh, dude, I thought this was the right way to go. And I was like, no, we got to turn around. We got to go back the other way. And he was like, oh, sorry, dude. And I was just like, all right. Just a great day. Great day at the elderly house. But, yeah.
Did you see the person in the stretcher come out?
Yeah, no, we, like, the ambulance came right to where the truck was parked that we were taking the stuff in. And, like... one of the ladies was pretty fine, but anyways,
that's what Sam said too.
Yeah,
I was like,
so they went in, and we were like, just like, oh, okay, maybe they're going in, maybe they'll come out without anybody or whatnot. Maybe it's just precautionary. And they came out, and some old lady like was just in it, and she looked fine to me, but maybe she was like, there's something going on. But yeah,
that's what Sam said too.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe she was like, I'm fine, leave me in there, let me die. I don't want to die.
Yeah,
Don't save me.
Yeah.
Don't save me. I did this on purpose. There's a reason why. But yeah, so that was pretty interesting.
It's funny at that old folks home we just went to. I always use the shop number when you have to check in at all the old folks homes because you permanently have to now because fucking COVID. So like every old folks home from here now down to Longmont. If you type in the shop number, my name pops up.
I was gonna say it's either you or Jake.
But so I did all my initial check-in shit, and then Salofi uses the shop number immediately after me, and it just prints out another one that says my name.
So you were both the same person.
We were both, yeah. I don't want to throw on the name tag just for someone to be like, you guys are brothers, right? It's like, no, can't you tell that siblings?
Just a weird coincidence. We just have the same first and last name.
It's just strange, man. I mean, we were there for 15 minutes before the fucking sticker fell off anyway.
Yeah.
We were in the trash.
It does typically get stuck to something, and then you're just like, oh, well, it's gone. It's gone before you realize it.
And then we never check out, even though we're supposed to.
Oh, I
do.
Oh, we are.
I think it says that when you check in. It's like you have to check out.
It's a way simpler process, though. You just put it back in, and it's like, bye. You don't have to do all the temperature check and all that nonsense, which is nice.
That was the job before we came and picked up you two, Charlie and Slick Nick, because we went to that apartment building that's off of that one place, Street Stewart, and then like they had like the kids' room, but when we went to the unload, there was no kid and just 2 grown adults, and I was like, cool, like a bunch of Lego stuff, and like I mean, it's not like kid stuff, like you're into that kind of stuff, good for you, but it was definitely like some kid stuff, like esque things in that one room where I was like, oh, they must have like a maybe
it could have been.
Bionicles are for men, right?
Yeah, bionicles are for men. I agree with that.
I'm still waiting for the day when the bunk bed goes to the master.
It'll happen, man.
I was confused by the potty training scene.
Threw me
Well,
for a
that's
loop.
mine.
I mean, there's a certain age where the potty training seat comes back.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a cycle.
Anything else happened this week really noteworthy?
This week was definitely better than last week.
We did.
I don't know if I would say that.
We did a real silly warehouse move.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Oh, yeah, that was-
multi-day,
that was
bunch of
pretty
people.
Way
silly.
better than
was
it
a
could
good
have
too.
possibly been.
It was so cakewalk.
Yeah.
It was so cakewalk.
Speaking of cake,
It was fucking silly.
Every-
That job was dumb.
Every shelf with something on it had wheels.
Yeah.
Nice.
Every shelf without
Wow.
it, you just pick it right up. The
Yeah.
only thing that sucks is, of course, moving. It's like, oh, this is so easy. As soon as it gets to unload, oh, fuck, the shelf kind of fell apart during unload.
Yeah,
Had
the
to, like,
shelves would break as soon as you touch
Gotta
it.
put them a little back in the spot because shit can't be perfect and easy.
Day 2 was funny because those forklift boys
Mm-hmm.
came to move those giant tanks, and the tank was so big it wouldn't fit in that huge garage at all. So
That tank of
they used a fucking circular saw and cut off like 3 feet of the top of that giant white tank, and then used the forklift to pry the top off of it.
I don't think I ever saw the white tank.
It was huge. It
Okay.
was so huge. You were like, they asked if we could move it.
I wasn't paying attention. I was just looking at the size of the warehouse.
During the estimate or whatever, the dude told me like the job seemed so ridiculous. Like he said he called 5 other movers and we were the only ones who even responded.
Oh, damn.
Oh my god.
Sounds about right.
Of course.
we'll do anything.
It was funny though. It was a huge air-conditioned warehouse, and like half of it was a company that manufactured big-ass shop fans. So like,
Did you guys score a big ass shop?
We
man?
should have.
Oh, I should have asked.
I mean, I've seen more big ass, but like, you know,
Is
Yeah,
it the
you've seen
brand
all the
Big
big
Ass?
ass.
No,
That
that
is a brand.
Yeah, and they're
That's why I was
awesome.
asking.
I want one.
You can get a big ass fan and a big ass toolbox.
All right, y'all. I guess to get going.
All right.
Later.
let's see.
See you later.
Usually you leave
And
quiet,
then
but
there were brand new fire trucks out of Columbus, Ohio in there. They hadn't seen service yet.
Hmm.
I think that's what our Custies did. They made valves,
Okay.
fittings for fire trucks.
That can make more sense. Yeah.
Still don't know what they needed that. I couldn't even tell you how many gallons that tank would have held. Anyone?
I wasn't
there.
Yeah.
that was not fair
Anyone
either.
see- yeah,
Might as
fuck.
well flip it
I
away.
should have taken a picture
We-
or a video because we took like a 45-minute break for them to do
Cut
this
it in
whole
half?
this whole fucking situation. And they failed so many times and couldn't do it. And then he just kept cutting. Like the corners were really thick because obviously this thing is meant to carry like an impossible amount of fluid.
1,000 gallons?
Way more. Like
Damn.
Dude, it was like a half pipe.
That weighs a
It-
lot.
yeah.
Like you could have shredded.
yeah.
It was massive, huh?
Yeah, you could have shredded a scooter.
You could have shredded anything.
Where's
Yeah.
Alex when you need him?
Yeah.
We were talking
was
shit
there.
on him. Yeah, he was there.
He kept talking about like, oh, I grind that. I
Oh,
don't
alopecia.
But we moved like, man, there were some like fucking 15-foot long homemade benches with carpet on them and shit.
Those are whack.
That was very whack.
Damn.
Yeah, those probably filled with the truck real fast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we still fucking stacked them and
Hell yeah.
like got them in. It was,
They're shin busters.
yeah. But overall, yeah.
I thought we should've-
Warehouse move, one of the best I've ever been on.
Yeah, I thought we should have finished it day one. It was so easy.
We could have.
I'm
We
like,
easily could
we
have.
got like 2.5, 3 more hours here
Mhm.
right now. It was just somebody was freaking out like, let's get the fuck out of here at 4 o'clock. And I'm like,
Max was like,
yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fucking
It's
done.
my
This is
Friday.
bullshit.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that sounds
He,
like
dude,
a
he
Derek
wanted,
move.
dude, he wanted to cut it at one load. I'm like, dude, we got it.
Yeah, it was so easy. It would have been 11 o'clock.
It was 11?
Yeah.
Like we cannot just do that.
I called him to see if you guys wanted help, and he was like, we might do 1, we might do 2 loads. Nah, we don't need help. All right, man.
It was so easy. I was so happy to tell Sam, like, after his, like, long day. I was like, we had the easiest day, Sam. You wouldn't believe it. You wish you were there.
It has been a relatively chill week. I think it was like Wednesday or something. We got back at like 3, and Tay's like, I'm always suspicious when we get off early. I mean, at a normal time.
Yeah,
After it's been 8 hours.
that's fair.
That's fair
You got up
because
at 3 on Wednesday?
It might have been Wednesday.
I got up at 9:25.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say that's fair to be suspicious because Nick and I pulled up after a job and like we were in the van. Well, we were part of the bigger job, but we pulled up in the van to like end the day around like 3ish. And then JD, Trey, and Brad
they
are
all
just smiling in
started
the office
glaring
at us.
from the office.
And we thought it was just because
I was
Nick
like,
was
this
just,
is bad news.
Yeah.
This is bad
We
news.
thought
I
it
don't
was
like
just
this
because
look
Nick's
they all
parking
got.
job over here in the front, but no, they come out to us and JD's like, I got another job for you real quick. You know, I can't do a good JD voice. Mine's just deeper than his.
Well,
But
that's because you had to go do the one that he booked for us.
yeah, he booked
Yeah.
for you guys, but you guys were just so far out that he was like, you guys are back right now. You know,
Were you
just-
there originally on the first move? They said that was done on Wednesday this week.
Oh yeah, but it was like it was
No?
when we got there.
Wait,
there
which
was-
one? The one you did before that, or the add-on?
No, the add-on.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know which crew was on it.
I don't
but
know
yeah,
which crew did
it
that.
was-
but-
That job you guys did took as long as 2 fucking driver videos. Okay.
Well, no, it wasn't the fact that like they got us, but the fact that I'm glad they got us because I mean Nick and I weren't.
I'm glad
arguing.
they
We
got
were-
us too.
We were all smiles on the way back because they're pretty nice people. But when we got there, the pieces they want, JD was like, yeah, they said 2 pieces, limited to that. 5-10 minutes. After that, you have a second job.
Yeah,
so
they
get
told
out
us
of
to
there.
tell them that we have another job to get to.
Yeah, so get out of there. And so we were like, all right, fair enough. And so we get there. We're like, all right, what do you want? Show us where you want it. Yada yada yada. And so we do that, and they're like, actually, can you move this here? Can you move that there? And it was like just 2 more pieces, and I was like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. It didn't hurt that
They weren't heavy was the
Yeah.
key. The ones that we were there for, we had a glass front, like, antique kind of hutch thing that they
that
wanted.
thing was a beast.
Going up to, it was taller than you, Salofi?
It was taller than me, and then
Yeah.
going up the stairs was
It was all there, yeah. They had like a 90-degree turn in their staircase. I mean, we eventually got it, We didn't like damage nothing or whatnot, but that thing was fucking heavy.
was.
That's for damn sure.
yeah. But yeah, there is a reason to be cautious when you do roll in around 3:30 after your big job, and you're just like, oh, I feel great. I'm about to go home, and then JD and the office guys are just smiling at you. Beware, yeah, because they're about to be like, oh, you're about to get sent out again.
I know specifically Brad takes pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, son of a bitch. Sick guys.
See, because that's
The
kind of
Brad
how
on.
we got yesterday too. Because I thought that job was going to be super fucking easy, which it wasn't that bad necessarily. But me and Doug went to pack it the day before, and the dude told us that it was just like these 3 areas. It was the kitchen and like the master closet and the guest closet. And we started opening all the things in the kitchen, and like everything was empty other than like the under the counter shelves and stuff, and there was like a pantry that was maybe like 15% full, and we were like, oh, this is going to be the easiest thing ever. And then we come back the next day and he's like, okay, so all those closets that I told you didn't have stuff in them do have stuff in them, so you're going to have to pack those now. So I brought like 3 boxes because I thought we were done packing. And he was like, no, there's still like a bunch of stuff to do. It's like, why didn't you just fucking tell us that yesterday?
It's so hard to get
But,
information from people.
yeah. That's my only gripe with this week in moving is that I had to pack 4 days in a row.
Oh, that does
And
suck.
that's garbage.
Yeah.
That's absolute
Was
garbage.
this that job that Jake called you and he was like,
No, that was my first day of
Okay.
packing this week, which
'Cause
was
those-
also dumb.
those
That
guys,
was just the kitchen and the garage
Yeah,
for that.
that was the same people who had that long V desk.
Oh, it was,
and,
yes.
And,
we
and
saw-
because
yeah.
we tilted the
Yeah.
box and the water came out of the coffee pot and stuff like that. And it was like,
There was
oh,
a vinegar one.
Yeah,
We
the
ended up
vinegar
smelling
one,
that in the
yeah.
truck.
Man, we were talking shit about you and Marco.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you each had one box had water in it and one spilled vinegar, and we're like,
Yes.
These guys.
I was aware that was
Damn.
going to happen.
I was totally aware. I wish
I
you
made
wrote a
those.
note on the box or something, like water.
The
I
cap
threw
was
caps.
broken into like 3 pieces, so I packed it in enough paper that I thought it would help, but apparently no, that's
Yeah, I thought I
There was
checked
nothing I could
the
do.
caps.
No, yeah.
I screwed those caps. No.
As soon as the vinegar got brought onto the truck, I started
MC.
smelling it. I was like,
Mm.
what is this? And they're like, yeah, that box had this leaking vinegar. I was like, oh, nice. I looked at the initials. It was yours. I was like, this guy. This guy.
MC5 going down. You know what, like, about pack jobs, so we were in their garage, and it's looking very masculine in there. They got big squat rack. They got
Oh, yeah.
Bowflex dumbbells,
Yep.
and it's a big fucking mess. Client's like, I'll get my boyfriend down, and we'll tell him what else needs to get packed. I'm expecting like Macho Man or somebody, guy who owns Squat Rack to maybe come down, something. And he comes down and he's like, and she's like, babe, what's going? He's like, you're like pointing around the garage, and I was like, what was that? He's like, I was like, okay, yeah, I don't know. And then he's just whispering at himself, like pointing at random directions, and I was like, all right, I'm not packing shit for you, cool, dude. Like, I'm gonna pack your turntable and this amp here, and that's fucking it. Like, everything else,
basically
like,
just taped up the open tops. And
Yeah,
that was it.
that was it. But he came down, he said, I was like, come on, guy. Like, I thought you squatted 350. Now you come down
That was
here,
a pretty
like,
good imitation of him.
That
Yeah,
was
I know.
so
That
good,
was,
dude.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
Yeah, he was a pretty quiet guy.
squeak boy wonder. Fucking.
Dude,
Yeah.
It's like, where do you want this?
he was so dainty. Yeah.
Oh, God. Fuck this guy.
But that was so funny that you say that because I was talking to Nick. I was
Yeah,
like, dude,
the
as soon
whole
as I
time.
saw this workout equipment, I was expecting someone to like
Yeah,
walk out.
like
And then I saw him, and I was like,
the amount of 45s he's got, it's like,
Yeah.
yo, like, what are you doing with all these plates?
I thought this
Yeah.
dude was just out there being like a beast in his garage.
I had to
Yeah,
flick the
nothing.
plate to check if it was metal or foam. I'm not even kidding. I was like, is
Authentic.
this? Yeah.
Just labeled as 30 pounds or
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm like, I don't know. He's filming shit in here.
What did he have,
views.
that the hexagon bar that you're like, yeah, like, no
Oh
one,
yeah, so he has the trap bar which you
Yeah.
use for like deadlifts, your traps.
you're like,
and
no
stuff.
one has that at their
And I was
home
like,
gym.
yeah, usually like no one with their own setup usually doesn't have this that I have seen like moving and then like visiting other people's gyms at their houses, but he had it. I was like, I thought this guy was serious. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I saw him and I was like,
He had
dude,
extravagant, workout equipment,
Yeah.
and it was just
Someone
like,
say he was a fucking Avalanche player.
No,
There's no,
See,
no,
I
no
think
that's
way.
today.
All right, now
I think
there's
that's
no
today.
way this
That's
guy was-
today.
You
Yeah.
packed so many
we
Yeah.
we forgot about that. Damn,
That's the
that
guy
was
that
today.
we tagged.
This guy was
today.
your guys' customer. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was an Avalanche
No.
player too. Like the
No.
glasses
Is he a
was an Avalanche
Huh?
player. I was
No.
like,
Is he a current Avalanche player?
I don't-
or-
He's a current player for
Is
the
he?
Colorado Eagles.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
He's under contract with the Avalanche, though.
Oh, okay.
I moved one of them.
Because I was like, the Avalanche. are
Yeah,
playing
no, we
right
moved
now.
him in.
You know where they're at.
We
right
moved
now,
him
right?
in like not
our
too long
community.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like less than a year ago. Somebody from here moved him in because Brad was telling me. I think Brad ended up going out there to help or something. And yeah, because Brad was telling me about how hot his wife was, and they were like, what is this dude doing? Like, and then they ended up seeing. Well, I saw the same duffel bags that he was telling me about, where he's like, oh, he saw big hockey duffel bags. That I saw one that was Columbus Blue Jackets, and I think the other one was Montreal Canadiens. I'm not sure, but.
There was about
Montreal.
15 hockey sticks in that
Yeah,
garage.
it was so much shit. Yeah, that had to do with hockey. He was wearing the hockey shirt and everything, and it was just like, oh, okay, it makes sense. Yeah, and then I looked up his name, and then it was like, okay, yeah, no,
Oh, this is a guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
no.
guy's somebody.
he's played in the NHL, but he's currently playing for the Eagles in the whatever.
At least he's a professional hockey player
Yeah.
with dozens of hockey sticks.
Mhm.
At least that makes sense.
And
Yeah.
he speaks French. He
He
called
spoke
his wife
fluent
to,
French. I read on his thing when I looked him up on my phone that he was born in Quebec.
That
So
makes
he's
sense.
Oh,
Makes sense.
so you felt kindred to him, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I know.
That's what
Kyle
Nick
had
was
to
very
remind me
drunk
of it. I
then.
felt ashamed. I
Yeah,
didn't.
Nick was
He was
very
like,
drunk.
I
I
don't
didn't
like
acknowledge
Canadians.
my-
I was like, but you are one.
Yeah, you are Nick.
Oh, so you didn't speak French, you spoke Quebecois.
Quebecois, as they say.
Quebecois.
From where you're
Fake
from.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Quebec.
Yeah.
Great
Canadian party.
fishing in Quebec.
Quebec.
Well,
That's what I've heard, eh?
Huh?
Great fishing in
It's-
Quebec.
it's
I hate
pronounced
Quebec.
Quebec.
No,
Never
it's
been.
what's it?
I've been to Quebec City. I went there
never
one
mind.
time. They don't speak any English up there. Like Montreal, you can get people to like, generally
Yeah, they
understand
probably
it.
don't appreciate this pointing.
Yeah, dude, like, well, it was like going out to
Maybe.
eat and stuff. Like in
Oh.
Montreal, yeah, everyone knows English. Like you can just speak English. Everyone's gonna understand you. You don't have to
I
like.
mean, it is Canada.
Yeah, right. No, but like Quebec City, like you go around and like we were asking people for directions on the street for stuff. Like in places where we were ordering, like we actually had to we had to do the pointing thing at the menu because it was like people don't
Yeah.
speak as much
you
English
just
up in
basically
Quebec.
do the same thing as that Custy. Just
It's tough. It's tough, but you try to be respectful and you say words that you do know. And you're trying to
You're
be
just like fromage.
yeah.
yeah, you get like one or two words out maybe in a conversation, and then they give you like
Guillotine.
some sort of a pity smile.
Oh, wrong word.
Yeah,
We have that here in the U.S. It's called Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I never. Done this. I don't know what none of that's
Well,
about.
they speak English and you still can't understand them.
It's called
That's-
Cajun.
Yeah, Cajun, I guess, is Actually,
And it's also French.
Oh, yes.
Or inspired by France. It must just be France. I'm
Hey,
blaming.
Cajun is a language?
Yeah.
Creole.
Oh, Creole. Okay.
Well, it's a dialect, isn't it?
I was gonna
Style,
say
yeah.
that is news to me. If Cajun was a language,
That's how,
I was like,
that's how
holy
it is
crap.
with Polynesian
Well, yeah, I mean,
Islands.
it's like Quebecois French. where-
I've heard of Creole for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was
I cook with Cajun seasoning.
right.
Exactly.
That's what I know. Yeah, Cajun fries.
I've been to Five
Some
Guys.
blackened
Yeah.
catfish.
But yeah, customers who do like speak quietly and it's like very hard to understand them. I'm like, oh, where do you want this piece?
It-
Like, yeah, I'll just go sit down in the living room up there, out of the loft or in this general area. Don't it's fine with me.
I mean, sometimes that's better than the people who are like way overly specific.
Oh, it's
like
true.
I know that's been brought up at one point or another. But me and George had a shuffle this one time that was just going to their garage to their like lower living room in a split level, and literally every single thing that we brought in there, they would be like, "Okay, put it here. Okay, now move it to the right 2 inches." The left 2
Oh,
inches,
those-
and now split the difference. Every single goddamn thing that we moved.
that would be
It's like, so you just want us to put it like not like, why don't we just set it in the center of where you think the first time? Because that's been the case every other goddamn time. Like, just going it that way, George. Just do it.
very tedious. Yeah. Well, at the same time, it's like I know like you want it in this general area, but you look strong enough to kind of shift it 2 centimeters or inches to the left or right, whichever way you want it. So just let me put it in that area for you, and then you and your husband or significant other just move it yourselves
No,
later.
bro, that's impossible.
Or get your kids who are also the same size as us to come and help you guys. You know,
Also impossible.
Yeah,
What do you?
it's a crazy
what do you
thing. I don't
say?
They're going to college next
Yeah.
year.
they're living their old
He's
lives
in
2 miles down the
lacrosse.
road. It's like
Varsity.
Becky's
That's
coming
throwing
over.
on, man. You can't risk that.
Yeah, well, that was the crazy thing. I think I moved this lady. She was like, she was looking at me and she was like, I have 2 sons. They're about the same like height and size as you. And I don't know who was on the same job as me, but I was like, I turned and looked at them. I was like, you have kids who are, the same size as me. Like, I'm a pretty big guy, 6'5", at that time, 300 plus pounds. I was like, why are they here helping you? Like, you could have saved so much money just loading this stuff up one by a time and having your kids come and do it for you. But I guess, some people can't be bothered.
No, they got to pay us a couple $100s to do some dumb shit.
That's all right. Pays for my paycheck.
Move a table to the left.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I fucking did a whole shuffle for some lady who, and this is way before COVID. She's, that was back in the handshaking days.
Mhm.
She's like, I don't shake hands. I'm very brittle. And this lady's like 25. And like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But she had 2 real rambunctious dogs that obviously jumped all over her and shit. I don't know. But she needed her bed moved literally 2 inches and paid us $220. Probably $180 at the time.
Yeah.
And she didn't expect that it was a king bed. She didn't expect that 2 of us were just gonna go like. We got on our
the
knees
sides.
from one corner and the opposite
Right.
corner,
Yeah.
and we lifted it all up
Yeah.
2 inches.
You picked it up and set it back
Yeah,
down.
and she's like, "Oh wow, I didn't realize that guys could just do that."
I love it when that happens, dude.
Oh,
Like, that's
wait,
one of the
and,
funniest
like,
things.
we moved, and then we moved her couch off her rug, and her rug back 2 inches, and then that couch back onto that. rug.
Awesome.
Just because, like,
Whatever.
that's a thing that human beings can do.
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy what
There's-
people can actually live.
She had a husband in the second bedroom.
Of course you.
Like, with the door locked.
Well, he can't touch her either.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whatever happened to that lady that we moved her shit every season
What the
because she wanted like it just to look different, and it's like
Oh, I
literally
totally
like
know
we
who you're
flip a
talking about.
bookshelf
Yeah.
upside down, and shit like that. It was
I had
like
to do
goofy
that.
shaped. He knows. He knows.
I remember
Style.
that vividly now, but yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, it was just like move this chair to the other side of
Yeah.
the room, flip this bookshelf, and then go over there with like 3 tiny end tables. And that was
That's
it.
similar to Bob and Ellie. over
Yes.
in the country.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Was that job up at Horsetooth by chance?
No, it was in town somewhere.
Okay.
Um, Oh, another This Week in Moving before I forget. I wish Derek or Doug were here to confirm. But yeah, Derek and old Kalen are going to be having a real bad time on that long haul.
Yes.
So I don't know if you heard about all of the situations going on with that. But yeah, they're...
I've been in contact with them, so I know what's going
Have
on.
they been suffering?
What's going on?
So they're dropping off some stuff to the son's house, which at one point the dad made a comment about how his son shouldn't be living in Colorado because all the California people are moving out here and bringing their crazy liberal ways with them. And if my son ever moves back to Colorado, I know he won't get along with those people, and if he does, then he's no son of mine. Just like,
Wow.
It was, dude, these people were like cartoon fucking characters. There was something else. There was another thing on the California front that I can't remember what they said. It was like, well, they can just move wherever they want as long as they don't bring their ways with them. We don't need all that out here. And so that was the wife said that to like the husband, and his only comeback was, well, you know, some people are just gonna be Jews, I guess.
Oh,
Like, oh, God damn. That Doug was reading through there, and it was like an introduction to Islam or something, and its history with the United States, and it like, I don't know, he only read the foreword to me, but it was just the most egregious thing I've ever heard. It's like, there's been 1,400 years of weird religious influence in America.
Whoa.
It's like, good God, calm down, people. But yeah, they
They're
were
moving to Oklahoma.
really yeah.
They're going home.
So
There was at least 3
Nature does
instances
a
where we
hard
were like,
reset
we
all
should
the
just
time
walk
through there
this,
with
but
those tornadoes.
it's a long haul, so we can. Oh man.
So I've been talking to them because they tried to get a hotel, and everybody who can do that is out doing something together.
Right.
So I've been talking to them, trying to like figure out what's going on, and they picked up those couple of boxes to drop off or whatever. And I'm
It's a
pretty
tool,
sure
they're like toolboxes and yeah, some random shit. But
Derek told me they were 2 boxes that were bigger than our Schmeg boxes.
yes.
And then a whole bunch of additional Schmeg. So
Oh.
it's like a
Entirely
shitload of
accurate.
stuff.
Yeah.
I think the other
Yes.
one
He cheers. Yes.
Yeah, get him.
I
That was-
feel
yeah.
bad because
However-
it's Oklahoma and it is so hot right now.
Right.
Didn't they pick up that stuff down in Castle
Are they in
Rock?
Goose?
No.
No,
They are
It's
in
in
Goose.
Loveland.
They're in
Dude,
Goose.
Goose's AC does
Yeah.
not
It's
work.
bad.
That's what I said as soon as they were leaving. But but they were they picked it up in Oklahoma and they're bringing
Yeah,
it
really.
back to
To Castle Rock.
Ooh.
Oh, I was telling them, like, yeah, dude, Castle Rock's like a terrible town. They're never stopping there for no reason. And obviously, it was a joke. It's a great place down there. I wish I was down there right now, but yeah, that's all.
Castle Rock, Colorado.
It's just a big suburb now. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
I
That's
think
all
that's
it is.
all it ever
For
was.
the rich and wealthy.
No, it's a
retired.
big suburb now.
It was like the original like bedroom community. I feel like
Oh, but it's
it's like
dressed
where all
up
the tech boys
way
from
nicer
Denver
now.
moved. You know,
Way
like when
nicer
the
now.
tech boys started their tech boys.
The tech.
Well, but the other thing that's a plus and a minus too, there was like 45 minutes where she was like crying on the phone because they called their son and daughter-in-law or whatever that are already there. They were supposed to go do the final inspection. They were like, we opened the door and there's just like a pile of concrete. It's not even finished yet. So they probably have to drop it all off in the garage, which I guess to some extent is better for the short term. But yeah, just the whole thing was such a shit show. Oh, to begin with, before we even got started, because she was, pretty old. So me and Doug got there first, and we're just supposed to help them load up so they can leave. But, of course, since we got there, she's, like, walking down the middle of the street trying to flag us down, and we're like, we're not even moving you. Like, so I had to get out and be like, yeah, we're just the help crew. We're helping them load up. We're not loading anything on this truck. And she's like, well, you could back it in the driveway. And I was like, we're not going. How many times do I have to explain this to you? And then she was like, well, damn it, I walked all the way over here, so now you're going to have to help me back to the house. And then looks at me and it's like, oh, you're just like my son with all those full sleeve tattoos. Like, cool. All right, yep.
It's going to be a great interaction, I can tell, from these hours.
Those poor guys. R.I.P. Derek and Caleb.
Nah.
I think
I was going to say, yeah, they've got each other. They're having a great time,
Derek's got some twisties in him.
Yeah, he's got some twisties.
By now, for sure. I think they got to their hotel like an hour ago.
Yeah, he's been trying to push the twisties onto Kaylin, and Kaylin's like, nah, dude, I'm driving.
Oh,
I'm
no,
driving. I got
Kaylin's all about it.
Kaylin's all about it.
He was drinking twisties on tap in Rock Springs, Wyoming at Marty P's.
Well, that's different when you're observing.
Never seen it anywhere else.
He was drinking twisty on tap.
I wouldn't trust on tap.
He thought he died.
I drank beer.
I drank beer on tap.
Do they have a barrel that's just full of twisty? And
That's
like
what, because it's not carbonated.
No, it's a giant wine bag in the back.
Yeah. So you were back there getting
Slaps the Surprised they didn't go there and ask if they could take the bag that they had hooked up to the keg.
I would drink a box of twisted tea. I would
They
at least
have
buy
that.
They
one.
have that.
That's
Derek
real
did
thing.
it.
Oh,
Have
no.
you not seen the videos of Derek
Waterfall.
doing? He slapped the bag of twisted tea. Kaylin's holding it. There's a video of him doing it, and he's like, underneath
You're
it.
saying all this to me, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, he sent me the video on Snapchat. Yeah.
It's called a box of tea.
Derek would get the eyes.
Box of tweet.
Okay. I got at least one more story from this week. I don't remember who was there. You might have been there, Slopey.
Whoa.
You also might have been there, Nick, because I feel like we work together
A
every
lot,
fucking day.
yeah. In Dale, right? Yeah.
Yeah. In Dale,
Yeah, when it's not.
I've been in
not me,
Dale
it's
for the
me.
past 4 days.
Yeah. But it was, I don't remember what day, but it was a decent sized move. No boxes, which was cool.
Oh,
All just
furniture.
fern.
Yes.
And we had this like 5 foot tall statue, or it's like
Oh,
carved
the
wood
dolphins.
of
Yes.
dolphins like jumping and shit.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And it was
Doing
all,
flips and
you know,
Hell.
that was the only thing on the list that it actually said he added this thing.
Yeah.
And we're in Drift King, so it's got the shitty rails on the side. And we strapped this dolphin on top of the pad stack. And we get to the unload, and it's just fucking sideways, upside down on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
To be fair, we gave it the good old mover 1-2 tug to make sure it was in
we
place.
strapped it
We
up.
were
and
like,
gave
yeah,
it a
we
shake
shook
and all that
it vigorously. And I don't know who was driving the truck with me because it was.
It might have been Josh.
It was lean, yeah,
Yeah,
because it was lean
okay.
because we were
makes
playing some funky music and we were hopping over some bumps, and then so
Goddamn.
lean. Sorry if you hear this, but when we got to the unload and we popped it open and I saw it on the ground, I was like, I'm not surprised with all the bumps you were just taking. So like non-cautious. I was like, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised this thing is broken into 4 pieces right now.
But it held together.
It held together
almost completely.
Almost completely. There was one part of one of the dolphin's fins it's like dorsal fin that was chipped and broken, and so I was just like, yeah, this is the
so
piece
there
that
was
broke.
there was that, and there was 2 more pieces on the base that had just kind of chipped off or whatever.
Yeah.
So I pretty much just collected all of them, and I was like, this thing was just shedding in our truck.
Yeah.
I don't know. And he's like, that's what wood glue's for.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank fucking God I don't have to go further with this.
Oh yeah, they were pretty cool about it because did you hear the story you told us about how he got it?
No.
So I guess it was either her Valentine's Day or her birthday or something where like they were where this piece of art was just sitting somewhere and it was like, oh, this special occasion's coming up, like when am I gonna get my significant other? And he saw it and he was like, this seems like a great piece. I'd get somebody else. And this thing it's like 4 dolphins on this. It's all made of wood. This thing is literally like 5 foot tall because it came up to like my chin.
Oh, yeah.
And I was looking at it. I was like, dude, this is crazy. And he was like, yeah, no, I thought it was the perfect gift for my significant other. And I bought it right there on the spot. And I was just like, good for you, man. Because if some other girl I bought this for saw this, she'd probably be... She wouldn't like it. She would not approve of this. And I was like, good for you that your wife decided to say, yes, this is a good spot. This is a good buy. Let me put it somewhere in my house where people could see it as soon as they walk through the doorway.
We might have done him a favor because she might fucking hate it.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, it's got a couple chips. We got to get it out."
Oh, yeah, it's got to go.
We might have done a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like her version of the leg lamp in A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
She's constantly trying to knock it over when she's
Oh,
cleaning.
no.
Oh, it broke.
It's
Yeah.
broken. Gotta
Gotta
get rid of
it.
it.
Seen
Well, yeah.
a couple of those leg lamps around.
There are
Yeah.
quite a few of those.
Overall, they were pretty good, cool people. I mean,
Yeah, it was pretty chill, all
Yeah.
things considered.
all things considered, it was a pretty good job.
Except for those fucking desks. Once
Oh.
again, desks.
Desks are the
Desks are
bane of our existence. for
It's,
some reason.
the L shape with the hutch on top.
Yeah.
The
Two of
burgundy
them-
that
color.
one today.
Oh,
that
yeah, 'cause
guys
you had
took
a-
to that basement. That thing looked terrible.
Oh,
You watched that?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. So Lofi like warned me about it, and like I like
yeah.
came back from taking a box stack. Charlie's like coming down the ramp, and he and he goes, "Get ready to get big," and I'm like, I'm just a help crew, man. Like, I'm just thinking, like, there's 8 of us there. Like, maybe I won't have to do, some of these heavy ass pieces Lofi's talking about. And then he hits me with that line, and I'm like, here we fucking go. So Lofi's holding one end, looking right at me as soon as I come around the, the end of the truck, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I guess we're doing it. You
That
know,
desk was out of all the heavy pieces on that job I touched.
that
every
might have been the
single one.
heaviest
it's a
because, like,
bad
even
dude.
after those dressers, man, I think
No,
that desk was worse because only because of how wide, for at least me with my,
How wide?
oh yeah, like whatever. Wingspan.
yeah.
That's what the word I'm looking for. My wingspan. I was kind of wide with that thing, where it's just like it was almost kind of like I was shrugging a little bit to keep it up.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, it was just way worse than those dressers, which you were able to get like more like close to
More,
your
yeah, close
your
to it.
core. It
But,
wasn't like I was like expanding away from my body holding that, but that was shitty.
Oh, dude, I was telling you, like, there
That
was like
terrible.
of that job, like, there's like a significant, like, there's like key pieces I remembered where I was like, because we had to find base for the beginning of the job, and I was like, the only base that's going to be really good is these dressers upstairs, and they were beasts, and we put them on the beginning of the truck, so when we unloaded, they were the last things to leave. So you really had to just willpower your way through it, but that desk was especially
That desk was
beast
worse.
because-
Yeah, that
I
desk.
didn't
It was
move-
bigger.
I
Like,
moved
just
the
more
small
awkward.
part of it and was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Oh, the
dude?
big part of it?
This should
Because I picked it up with
That was
Marco.
one thing
Yeah.
where it was
Yeah.
like, we were like getting into that room, and I was like, man, I can feel myself, my
Yeah.
grip strength. It's like because the worst part for me was all the weight. Event ended up being on one side,
Mhm.
Top of it.
and it was my left side, and I'm like, all right, left side's got all the weight right now. Right arm, I could honestly pull it off the piece. It's not really doing fucking much, and I'm like, great, this thing's like fucking 200 pounds, maybe more, and I'm fucking
That's-
all in my left hand right now, going
Yeah.
down the stairs where I have to lift up high.
That's when you just got to dig
Oh.
deep, and you're just
Yeah,
like,
it
I'm just
tested
gonna be
me. Like there's
different kind
there's
of
a few
mover today.
pieces where you're like you're not sure honestly if
Oh.
you can do it. You just know you have to like attempt because like
It has to go
What else are
downstairs
you gonna
one
do?
way or another. You can't just
Always.
shrug it off.
And,
'Cause if you-
yeah, that
if you
was
pick
one
it
of
up
them.
and you pass it off to somebody else, that's like, that's
Yeah,
like,
no, you can't
be-
I'm a
Yeah.
bitch, man.
When we were doing that hot tub, there was a moment when I said I lifted up the side so you guys could get the wheels under it. I was lifting, and then it gave way, and I was like, oh, thank God this thing came off the ground. I lifted it as high as I needed. I was like, I don't have much more in me, and my back is going to give eventually. Thank God it's
There's only so much more I can give before I crack. Not
Yeah,
this
there
piece.
was that exact moment where I was like, I can only do so much.
Yeah, right, yeah. You
That's
know
what
you
happened
have
to me with
attempt
that
is the sad
entertainment
part, though.
center that I destroyed with you.
Oh, yeah. Food was there too. I know we've talked about
Day
it.
one.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
This is the only thing I care about.
The first
and
thing I
Kyle
ever
fucking
broke.
Oh,
You made it all the way to the pod.
One
I
day
sure
one.
did.
Dropped
It was
in the
technically
pod.
my
I was
third.
gonna say it was
Yeah,
like
it was
you
first.
were new
But-
guy for sure. but-
No, my first day was the easiest day that anyone's ever had. I think it was me and you, Boot, and somebody else. We went and moved a piano like 2 inches, and then we did a pot unload for some like
Sounds about right.
oil worker dude dude that was clearly on meth and didn't give a shit about anything. So he was like, "Yeah, just throw it all in my hat." I think I got in at 9 and I was off by like 11 or something, and we did 2 jobs. So yeah, but then my next 2 days were like the worst 2 days possible, because my next 2 days were the mass move-in at the fucking. Oh god, I can't even think of the name because I hate it so much. What's the
Uncommon?
The Uncommons? Yeah,
Ew.
that was my second day, and then the day after that was the mass move-ins to the CSU dorms. So I had like a
That is
2-hour
the-
day and then 2 14-hour days. Right next to
CSU
that.
jobs are the
Oh
worst.
god,
Yeah, they
it's
are.
I don't
so
think
I've heard they tip real well though.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Someone said they made a lot of money.
No.
I have gotten a fucking personal, like, ridiculous violation from a cop, and we've got a bunch of parking tickets. I never.
You gotta go there with someone who's been
No,
to see it.
there's CSU jobs, and then there's the dorm like student housing jobs. The CSU jobs are always awful and the worst thing that's ever happened. Thank God for COVID because we don't do those anymore. But the like student housing move-in, where they used to hire us to just stand out front and wait
Yes.
for people to come
That's
up and
what
help
I
us.
was doing.
Yeah,
that's yeah.
I made so
That's
much money off that
That was
shit.
my-
Yeah, that's what I've heard is
no,
people
that's-
making fat money off of
Mhm.
doing CSU kids.
And there's
Oh.
another, like, there's another one by the Dairy Queen that we've done that.
Yeah.
Just hung out. I don't know, I've done that a few times.
Hung out.
I do. What?
And people like come up like, "Hey, you're the movers. I got some stuff. Here's my U-Haul."
Oh,
All
that's
day. You
gross.
hang out
Here's
all
my
day.
U-Haul?
Mhm. Exactly.
I did that at the Patina Flats in Loveland. When that place opened. Was there all day.
But the CSU move-in too still had maybe one of the funniest moments that I've ever had on this job. Is it was me and Sabina got teamed up to move in this Asian couple, and we get them in the room, and she's like, "Oh, do you guys want drinks or something?" And I was like, "I'm good." And Sabina was like, "Can I get some water?" And she was like, "Sure." And comes back with like a clear mug full of milk and ice. And just Sabina's reaction to she just like had no idea what happened. Just like, wow. And she just sets it down and like walks out. It was so fun.
That's pretty great. I've never heard that. That is
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Milk and
Holy
ice.
Yeah, like both of us are just like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
What I was going to say, Bennett, when I was pointing at you was
Yeah.
you probably would have saw some of us out there, because if you guys were out there, what they used to do for the CSU football team was they used to make us, when everyone was moving into dorms, like they used to make us break into groups and we'd go and help the freshmen move in.
Oh.
And so you guys probably, I don't know if you guys were probably around the Parmley Hall, like that area by the...
We
Yeah.
usually did like slightly off campus things.
Oh, okay,
Like very
off
slightly
campus,
off
yeah.
campus.
Oh, but remember there was the Eddie building?
Oh, yeah,
There
Eddie,
was-
if you
yeah.
guys were by the
Eddie,
towers,
yeah.
or yeah. So you guys were probably like,
Another-
you guys probably would have saw me back in 2015. Like if you would have stared harder down the road, you probably would have seen me and be like, "Oh, there's a really big guy. We should ask him to join us." And yet here I am. You didn't have to ask me.
I don't ask this upon anybody.
Yeah. Oh no.
You have to
Anything-
volunteer to do this.
Oh yeah. But with our group, it's like when you do volunteer to come join us. I mean, it is a pretty fun group. I mean, out of all the places I've worked, throughout this whole wide U.S. and Fort Collins is probably the number one place I continue to go back
It
to.
is a solid work environment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of decent.
That's why you stay is
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
work environment. It's not for the job.
No,
No, the
If,
job
oh
sucks.
no, dude. If it was, if they were
Imagine
saying,
doing this and you hated everybody
Yes.
around you.
oh no, you would not last long if you're like, if you're like, everyone sucks and so do the customers. And like, no, you wouldn't be here forever. But since everyone is pretty stellar to work with and the customers are somewhat decent and formal most times, it's like, yeah, I guess I'll keep going.
Yeah, so
Alright, me and Jake
Yeah.
went to this like fucking water shower head company manufacturer.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I saw the notice.
Here locally. It was so weird, but like Jake mentioned, just like because the two people, I don't know, it was such a bitch fest that they just put us in the middle. Like, we come in the door, she tells us on the phone to come in, And then, like, before we can even, like, introduce ourselves, this other jabroni from the warehouse is fucking bitching at her. That truck needs to be moved. We're standing right here. We're like, all right, bro, Jake, go move the truck. All right, we'll go through. I can find. They just were bickering. And I had to, Jake got the privilege to move the truck around the building while I walked through the entire manufacturing building with these two idiots just fucking bickering at each other. I'm just like, can I just see the one stupid piece? We're gonna move. Security, like, it's like they're making shower heads for the CIA. Like, shit is.
How do you know they're not?
Like, maybe they were. But we moved a
It's got
shower
DNA
head display
erasing technology.
to a storage unit. Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah.
And everyone hated each other.
Yeah.
It's like, it'd probably make. There were a couple Teslas in the parking lot. A
Make that
couple.
good, bud.
Literally
Yeah.
a couple. But
Yeah, well,
but you know, they all at what cost?
exactly. At least here, you know, we're not all driving Teslas. We look at each other as piece of crap's cars, and we're like, yeah, at least I, semi tolerate this guy, when we're working together. And then, it happens to be 90 degrees outside, and it's going on hour 9, and he still has yet to pick up a heavy piece, but it's all right, the guy's still okay. I'm still moving with him. I don't want to call out names.
Okay, we're coming to the close here. We've done our time. Any final thoughts? Anything?
I mean, mine was going to be quick, but what I was going to get to before that was at least we only have to deal with like 1 or 2 shitheads a day, because especially coming from a convenience store background, like when I have to deal with 600 assholes in a shift, that is way worse than having to deal with like one idiot jackass that you're like, okay, I can't even fucking with this guy. But yeah,
I could not fucking
it's
do
not
that
a
shit.
constant bombardment of that kind of nonsense, so that's definitely another plus. But yeah,
All right. Close of the episode. Rate, comment, subscribe.
Tip your movers.
Tip your movers.
Listen to
Be nice
Fred
to your
Word.
movers. Love
There
your
you go.
movers.
All these things.
Kiss your
Love your
movers.
Respect your movers.
Respect your movers. Live,
Call
laugh,
them
love.
relocation
pack
specialists.
your own shit.
Do not fucking touch me.
Yeah. Don't call me Russell Wilson. It's all right.
Snake Aquarium!
I hate elephants. So do I. And I hate snakes. So do I. I hate elephants. So do I. And I hate snakes.
Snake Aquarium! Snake Aquarium! Snake Aquarium! Snake Aquarium!
I hate elephants. So do I. And I hate snakes. So do I. I hate elephants. So do I. And I hate snakes.
Snake Aquarium! Snake Aquarium! Snake Aquarium! Snake Aquarium!
No, it's probably the job where you had to move the snake aquariums or the snake.
Snake Aquarium! Snake Aquarium! Snake Aquarium!